This is the Australian Alps, and this is the Canadian prairies. These places form the base of our article Experiments with the Dark Pedagogy. Over the years, I've fallen in love with the Australian Alps, and Kat has grown close to the Canadian prairies. But each of these places face challenges relating to climate change and species extinction. They also carry histories of colonisation, loss, and natural cultural hegemony. In our article, I focus in on snowgums, an iconic tree species of the Australian Alps. Since I first went to the Australian Alps, these trees have captivated my attention. But in recent times, they are increasingly becoming victims of climate change, being ravaged by bushfires, drought, and the changed habits of the longicorn beetle. These issues sit alongside a place valued for recreation and tourism and a history of commodification.
I am learning with the land of the living skies. Nestled in the middle of the Canadian prairies, Saskatchewan is a landlocked province deeply committed to water-intensive industries of agriculture, mining, oil and gas. In fact, Saskatchewan's ecological footprint is above the Canadian average, with the highest greenhouse gas emission rates in the country. These issues, among others, culminate in Saskatchewan's tallgrass prairies being one of the most threatened ecosystems in the world.
Our article experiments with a form of dark pedagogy, confronting haunting pasts, presents and futures. Through our article, we offer a conceptualization of ghosts that enables us to creatively explore the duration of things and consider the relationality of time. But what do we really mean by that? Well, these landscapes carry stories. Events of the past carry forward and linger in the present. As we collide with time, the past is always conveying something into the present.
As colonialism drives land management practices in Saskatchewan, the bison is a discursive symbol and a material manifestation of the deleterious impacts of colonialism, fading bodies into the background. Bison bodies, Indigenous bodies, bodies outside of the white masculine mainstream.
Burnt, buffeted, eaten, still standing strong, still enduring.
Fenced in, domesticated, the alterity of wild, colonialism as the locus of control, domination, and exploitation. While I cannot visibly see the colonial grasp on the prairies, every landscape is haunted by past ways of life. As ghosts whisper tales of Saskatchewan's many pasts, they reach into me and pull my footsteps along earlier tracks and traces, guiding me along trails of the yet to come. Colonialism is not an event neatly contained in the past, but something inside of me, inside of you, inside all of us, living and dying amongst these impoverished systems. Pausing, listening, attuning to ghosts, I am subtly aware of the absence and presence. Loss is not an absence, but a marked presence, threaded through entangled pasts, presents, and futures. Through the knotty, messy, and uneven relationships emerging within fields of interdependencies across time and space, how can the body be anything but relationally accountable within the co-composing of more livable cosmopolitics?
So what do we do with this? Where do we go from here? We don't pretend to have all the answers, but as Tyson Yunkaporta states, creation time isn't a long, long ago event. Creation is still unfolding now and will continue if we know how to know it. Creation is in a constant state of motion. So, right here and now, let's not forget the past, but also recognise the becoming of time, the richness of the present, and acknowledge ongoing injustices. All things endure in their own way, carrying marks and scars, whilst also having generative capacities. What might we learn from the past in the present for the future?
Deborah Bird Rose reminds us that the shimmer refers to manifestations of ancestral power. As an intra-active phenomenon, shimmer draws people to experience the dynamics of participation in the enduring and ephemeral birth, life and death, and mutualistic multi-species waves of ancestral power.
Double death resonates here, where it is not just death of an individual, but also death of ongoingness and the ability for an ecological collective to regenerate itself. How can we avert this? Openness enables processes of differentiation, which are key to our pedagogical orientations, which hope for more livable futures. As pedagogues, we are open to encounters that change us, that disrupt, provoke, and help us become other to ourselves, generating new ideas for grappling with colonial legacies and contemporary concerns. Ghosts are a sign of the past, a memory of something enduring that once was and still is. Change comes, whilst also leaving something of the past behind in the future. We work at the juncture of hope and action by calling out past injustices and bringing together those that care in an effort to enhance our capacities for acting.
Sally Benedict, a Mohawk woman of the Wolf Clan, writes, "Old man, the ancient tremolo rises from your throat, and I know your heart. In your voice, I hear too the messages that you saved for me, from those who have known. They are carried in your voice, like distant thunder. Allow us to hear more thunder. Let it echo for all time."